caves, with their enigmatic beauty and uncharted depths, have long fascinated explorers. But beneath the allure lies a darker reality, one of narrow passages, sudden floods, and unseen perils. Throughout history, the quest to uncover these hidden worlds has led to some of the most tragic and haunting disasters.
Since Tuesday night, rescuers struggled against the unforgiving topography of Nutty Putty
one of
Cave.
the most popular caves in Utah.
What went wrong in these daring ventures? Here are 10 of the most devastating caving tragedies. Each a sobering reminder of nature's unforgiving power. Mosdale Caverns tragedy, 1967, England. On June 24, 1967, 6 cavers ventured into the Mosdale Caverns in North Yorkshire, England, an intricate network of narrow, waterlogged passages. Known for its complexity and high-risk environment, the cave had attracted seasoned adventurers seeking to conquer its depths. The group was well prepared and familiar with the challenges posed by the system. However, the unpredictable nature of caving revealed its full force that day. A sudden cloudburst transformed the calm environment above ground into a deadly torrent below. The heavy rain caused the cave to flood rapidly, cutting off the only escape route. As the water surged into the caverns, the 6 cavers found themselves trapped in one of the deepest sections of the system. Despite their skills and experience, the rising water left no room for maneuver. The cavern's tight confines offered no refuge, and the group succumbed to the overwhelming force of the floodwaters. The tragedy unfolded quickly, and the caving community was left in shock. Rescue attempts began immediately once the group was reported overdue. However, the conditions inside the cave were treacherous, with residual flooding and unstable sections making access nearly impossible. After extensive deliberation and failed attempts, authorities deemed it too dangerous to retrieve the bodies. The 6 were left in situ, forever entombed in the cavern they sought to explore. The Mosdale Caverns tragedy remains the deadliest caving disaster in UK history, and it profoundly impacted the caving community. It served as a grim reminder of the unpredictable nature of caving and the power of natural forces. Nutty Putty Cave Incident, 2009, USA. Nutty Putty Cave, a popular spelunking site in Utah, USA, gained notoriety for its tight passages and challenging terrain. On November 24, 2009, John Edward Jones, a 26-year-old medical student, entered the cave with his brother and a group of friends. John, an experienced carver in his youth, had returned to the activity for the first time in years. The trip was meant to be a light-hearted adventure, but it quickly turned into a harrowing ordeal. While exploring, John became stuck in a narrow, uncharted section of the cave known as the Birth Canal. Positioned head down in a vertical shaft measuring only 10 inches wide and 18 inches high.
Around 190, 200 pounds and 6 feet tall, so a very large guy, and he's in this space only 18 inches wide. So very difficult, he can't move at all, and after a while the muscles are going to cramp up and he just won't be able to move.
He found himself unable to move forward or backward. Rescue teams were called and a painstaking effort ensued to free him. Over the course of 27 hours, rescuers employed various techniques to extract him, including a system of pulleys and ropes. Despite their best efforts, the constriction of the cave and John's position made progress agonizingly slow. Trapped upside down, John suffered from the effects of prolonged compression on his body, which included restricted blood flow and increasing pressure on his internal organs. The situation became more desperate as time passed. Rescuers came within inches of freeing him, but a sudden equipment failure caused a rope to slip, leaving him in the same perilous position.
The equipment broke at that time. He has since slid back into that original position with his head down at a 60 or 70-degree angle, so a very uncomfortable spot.
Exhausted and out of options, the rescue operation was eventually called off. John died of cardiac arrest caused by the strain on his body. Floyd Collins tragedy, 1925, USA. The Floyd Collins tragedy remains one of the most iconic and harrowing tales in American caving history, not only for the circumstances of the incident, but also for the media frenzy and public response that followed. Floyd Collins, a seasoned cave explorer, met his fate on January 30th, 1925, while exploring Sand Cave, a narrow and unstable cave system in Kentucky. His goal was ambitious: to discover a cave that could rival nearby Mammoth Cave in beauty and accessibility, potentially transforming his family's land into a lucrative tourist destination. Instead, his expedition turned into a tragedy that captivated the entire nation. Floyd Collins entered Sand Cave with the intent to chart new passages. As he navigated the tight, treacherous corridors, a rock became dislodged and pinned his left leg, immobilizing him in a narrow shaft. Trapped 55 feet underground and about 150 feet from the cave's entrance, Collins was unable to free himself. His cries for help eventually alerted others, and a desperate rescue effort was launched. News of the incident quickly spread, and what began as a local rescue operation soon turned into a national spectacle. The media descended on Sand Cave, bringing with them journalists, photographers, and radio broadcasters eager to capture the drama. The story of a man trapped in a cave fighting for survival struck a chord with the American public. Newspapers provided daily updates, often sensationalizing the ordeal, and large crowds gathered at the site, turning the area into an impromptu carnival. Despite the extensive efforts to free him, including attempts to widen the shaft and provide food and water, the rescue faced significant challenges. The unstable cave walls frequently collapsed, complicating access to Collins and endangering the rescuers. Over the course of 14 agonizing days, volunteers and professionals worked tirelessly, but the effort ultimately ended in failure. On February 16, 1925, Collins succumbed to exposure, dehydration, and starvation. Panakin Plains Cave Flood, 1988, Australia. In the remote Nullarbor Plain of Australia, the Panakin Plains Cave is an expansive yet perilous underground system. In 1988, a team of 15 cavers, including explorer Andrew White, embarked on an expedition to navigate its intricate passages. While the region is typically dry, an unexpected storm unleashed torrential rain, causing water to flood into the cave at a terrifying speed. The team quickly realized the gravity of the situation as their escape routes disappeared under rising waters. Trapped in the depths of the cave, the group faced a grim scenario. The tight, waterlogged spaces offered little room for error, and the threat of hypothermia loomed large. Yet it was their collective experience and resourcefulness that kept panic at bay. They rationed supplies, conserved energy, and scouted for any accessible, elevated areas that might offer temporary safety. Communication among the group was critical in maintaining morale and focus. The ordeal lasted several days, with the team cut off from the outside world. Eventually, as the floodwaters began to recede, the cavers devised a risky but necessary plan for self-rescue. Using their knowledge of the cave's layout and working together, they navigated through the partially submerged passages and managed to emerge safely. Miraculously, not a single life was lost. The incident gained significant attention, showcasing the dangers of exploring cave systems, especially in regions prone to sudden environmental changes. It highlighted the importance of weather monitoring, better communication systems for remote expeditions, and the need for enhanced safety protocols. The survival of all 15 cavers is considered a testament to human resilience and teamwork in the face of life-threatening adversity. Neil Moss Incident, 1959, England. In 1959, a geology student named Neil Moss joined an expedition to explore Peak Cavern in Derbyshire, England. Known for its challenging passages, the cave had long been a fascination for adventurers. Moss, eager to push boundaries, volunteered to descend into an uncharted narrow shaft, a decision that would ultimately prove fatal. As he ventured deeper, Moss became trapped in a constricted vertical section of the cave, unable to move forward or retreat. His position, wedged tightly at a depth of over 80 feet, made rescue extraordinarily difficult. Rescue teams were called in, and over 100 volunteers worked tirelessly to extract him. They tried various methods, including widening the shaft, but the extreme conditions of the cave worked against them. The air quality in the narrow shaft deteriorated rapidly. A buildup of carbon dioxide and insufficient oxygen levels made prolonged attempts at rescue life-threatening for both Moss and his would-be saviors. Despite their unwavering efforts, the rescuers were unable to free him. After hours of grueling work, Moss succumbed to asphyxiation. The decision to leave Moss's body in the cave was met with mixed reactions. Some saw it as a necessary measure to avoid further loss of life, while others struggled with the emotional weight of abandoning him. His remains remain in Peak Cavern to this day, a somber reminder of the risks inherent in caving. The Neil Moss tragedy profoundly impacted the caving community, prompting advancements in rescue techniques and equipment. It also raised awareness of the psychological toll such incidents take on rescuers. Alpazat Cave Rescue, 2004, Ancient Mexico. In March 2004, 6 British military personnel found themselves trapped deep within the Alpazat Cave in Veracruz, Mexico. What began as a routine training exercise quickly escalated into a life-threatening situation when a sudden storm caused unexpected flooding. The surging water levels cut off their escape routes, leaving the group stranded for over a week in one of the most challenging cave rescue operations of the 21st century. The Alpazat Cave, known for its intricate network of tunnels and chambers, presented significant challenges to rescuers. The narrow passages and submerged sections made navigation hazardous, and communication with the trapped individuals was difficult. Compounding these issues was the remote location of the cave, which made assembling rescue resources a logistical nightmare. When news of the incident broke, an international rescue effort was swiftly mobilized. Mexican authorities collaborated with British military specialists, local caving experts, and international volunteers to orchestrate the operation. Rescue teams battled against rising water, unstable conditions, and dwindling supplies. Their primary focus was on maintaining the morale of the trapped cavers and ensuring their survival until a safe extraction could be arranged. After 9 grueling days, the rescue team successfully reached the group and brought them to safety. Despite the physical and psychological toll of the ordeal, all 6 individuals survived without serious injuries. The rescue operation was hailed as a triumph of international cooperation and human perseverance. Marcel Lubens accident, 1952. France in 1952, a tragic accident during an ambitious exploration of the Gouffre de la Pierre Saint-Martin cave system in France claimed the life of Marcel Lubens, a seasoned caver and member of a pioneering expedition. This incident would have lasting implications for caving safety, particularly regarding the reliability of equipment used in deep cave exploration. The Pierre Saint-Martin system, situated in the Pyrenees, is one of the world's deepest and most challenging caves. At the time, the expedition aimed to explore its uncharted depths, pushing the limits of human endurance and technology. Lubens, known for his courage and expertise, was part of a team that included some of the era's leading cavers. While ascending from a depth of over 1,000 feet, Lubens' harness suddenly failed, causing him to fall approximately 50 feet. Though he survived the initial fall, he suffered severe internal injuries and was immobilized on a narrow ledge. His position made immediate rescue nearly impossible. The team worked tirelessly to reach him, but his injuries and the challenging environment proved insurmountable. After several agonizing hours, Lubens succumbed to his injuries. The accident sent shockwaves through the caving community, raising urgent questions about the reliability of equipment and the protocols for ensuring safety during high-risk explorations. At the time, harnesses and other climbing gear were often custom-made or adapted from existing designs with little standardization or rigorous testing. Lubens' fall highlighted the dire need for better equipment designed specifically for the unique demands of caving. In the aftermath of the tragedy, significant advancements were made in the design and manufacturing of caving equipment. Modern harnesses, ropes, and climbing systems are now subjected to strict safety standards and testing. Additionally, the incident spurred the development of rescue techniques tailored to deep cave environments, ensuring that future accidents could be managed more effectively. Mount Gambia Cave Diving Accident, 1973. Australia. Mount Gambia, known for its breathtaking sinkholes and subterranean waterways, has long been a magnet for cave diving enthusiasts. However, in 1973, this idyllic site became the scene of a devastating tragedy that claimed the lives of 4 divers in the Shaft, a vertical sinkhole notorious for its dangers. This incident remains one of the deadliest in Australian cave diving history and served as a wake-up call for the entire diving community. The shaft, located near Mount Gambia, is a deep sinkhole with narrow passages, poor visibility, and unpredictable currents. On the day of the accident, 4 divers, all reportedly experienced but poorly equipped by modern standards, descended into its depths. Unfortunately, they quickly became disoriented in the dark, maze-like passages. Without a guideline, a standard safety tool in modern cave diving, they lost their way and their lives. The aftermath of the Mount Gambia tragedy sent shockwaves through the diving community. At the time, cave diving was still an emerging activity, and safety protocols were rudimentary. The incident highlighted the inherent dangers of underwater exploration, especially in confined and complex environments like caves. Divers faced risks such as disorientation, equipment failure, and the physical challenges of diving under extreme pressure and low light conditions. In response to the tragedy, regulatory bodies and diving organizations in Australia took significant steps to improve safety in cave diving. The Cave Divers Association of Australia, CDAA, was established in 1973 to provide training, certification, and oversight for divers. The CDAA implemented strict guidelines, including the mandatory use of guidelines, proper training for navigation in caves, and enhanced equipment standards. The Mount Gambia tragedy also spurred advancements in technology. Modern diving gear now includes advanced lighting systems, redundant air supplies, and cutting-edge navigation tools designed specifically for cave environments. These innovations, combined with rigorous training programs, have significantly reduced the risks associated with cave diving. Yordrog diving accident, 2014, Norway. The Yordrog cave system in Norway, renowned for its icy waters and labyrinthine underwater passages, became the site of a harrowing diving tragedy in 2014. 2 experienced Finnish divers lost their lives in the cave's unforgiving depths, sparking a debate about the risks of extreme diving and the ethics of recovery missions. This incident would later gain international attention through the documentary Diving into the Unknown, which captured the essence of the tragedy and the resilience of the diving community. The divers were part of a team of 5 attempting to navigate Yordrog's challenging passages, known for their extreme cold, tight spaces and limited visibility. During the dive, the 2 victims became trapped in a narrow section of the cave, unable to find their way out. Their deaths were caused by a combination of disorientation, exhaustion, and the physical strain of diving in such conditions. Following the incident, the surviving team members faced a daunting decision. Norwegian authorities declared the cave too dangerous for an official recovery mission, leaving the victims' bodies trapped underwater. Unwilling to leave their friends behind, the survivors undertook an unauthorized recovery mission. Over several days, they successfully retrieved the bodies, navigating the same hazardous conditions that had claimed their companions' lives. This act, though controversial, was driven by a deep sense of duty and camaraderie. The tragedy and subsequent recovery operation were later documented in the Finnish film Diving into the Unknown. The documentary provided a raw and emotional portrayal of the events, offering insight into the psychological toll of cave diving and the profound bond among divers. It also shed light on the inherent risks of the sport, where even the most skilled individuals can fall victim to the unforgiving environment. Riesending Cave Rescue, 2000, Vertsine, Germany. The Riesending Cave, located in Bavaria, Germany, is one of the deepest and most complex cave systems in Europe, plunging over 1,148 meters into the earth. Its name, meaning giant thing in German, aptly describes the enormity of its labyrinthine passages and the challenges it presents to explorers. In 2014, this cave became the site of one of the most dramatic and resource-intensive cave rescue operations in history when Johann Westhauser, an experienced speleologist, suffered a traumatic head injury deep within its confines. On June 8, 2014, Westhauser, along with 2 companions, was exploring the Riesending Cave when a falling rock struck his head, causing severe injuries. Though he was wearing a helmet, the impact left him disoriented and in intense pain. Located approximately 1,000 meters underground, in a section that required navigating through vertical shafts and narrow waterlogged passages, the group faced an unprecedented crisis. Realizing that they could not carry him out on their own, one of his companions embarked on a grueling 12-hour ascent to alert authorities. The rescue operation that followed was unprecedented in scale and complexity. It involved over 700 personnel from multiple countries, including Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Italy. These included expert cave rescuers, paramedics, and technical specialists. The mission was fraught with logistical challenges as the sheer depth and intricacy of the cave made traditional rescue methods impractical. The operation required meticulous planning, as any misstep could endanger both the rescuers and the injured man. Given the difficulty of the terrain, rescuers first had to stabilize Westhauser before attempting to move him. A team of doctors and medics descended into the cave to provide emergency care, bringing medical supplies and specialized equipment to manage his head trauma and prevent further deterioration. The confined spaces required the use of compact medical gear and creative improvisation to ensure his safety. Transporting Westhauser out of the cave proved to be the most arduous part of the operation. A stretcher designed for tight spaces was used to carry him, but navigating the vertical shafts and narrow tunnels was a painstakingly slow process. Rescuers used a system of pulleys, ropes, and mechanical winches to hoist him through the steep sections of the cave. In some areas, the passages were so tight that they had to carefully maneuver the stretcher by hand, inch by inch. Communication between teams was crucial, but the thick rock often interfered with radio signals, adding another layer of difficulty. One of the most challenging aspects was the coordination required for such a large and diverse team. Language barriers and differing rescue protocols had to be addressed to ensure smooth collaboration. Teams worked in shifts, with some staying underground for up to 20 hours at a time. Meanwhile, those on the surface managed logistics, including the transport of food, water, and equipment into the cave. The rescue mission took 11 grueling days, with Westhauser finally emerging from the cave on June 19, 2014. Though he was exhausted and his injuries were severe, he survived thanks to the extraordinary efforts of the rescue teams. He was immediately airlifted to a nearby hospital where he underwent further treatment and eventually recovered.